Hi guys, how are you? Wow. Hey, we just did photos. I remember you. I remember you. I can see you. How you doing? Good? Wie geht es euch? Is that right? That's correct? All right.
Well, I'll tell you about myself. I come originally from South Africa. I'm a real African American. You don't understand what I'm saying. In America, you have to be black to call yourself African American, right? When I meet a lot of African American people, I tell them I'm the real African American. And I ask them, have you ever been to Africa? And they're like, no. And I say, well, how can you call yourself African American? I'm African American, 5 generations, you know? So they can't believe it. They're like, but you're not black. You can't be African American. I'm like, I am African American. Anyway.
Who is your best friend of the Stargate actors?
No, I hate them.
So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering about the episode where there's like 15 of you. What did it take longer to make that episode, and was it hard for you to keep track of all of you?
Yeah, there was actually 22 of me. When I saw the script that I was being cloned, then I was like, yes, okay, because now there's less chance of me being kicked off the show because I have so many clones. So how can they get rid of me? They can't. It was fantastic to do because I'd never done anything like that before, technically wise. And yes, it took a long time. We were shooting just that one scene from about 8 o'clock in the evening till 4:30 in the morning, because technically with the green screening and getting everything just right, where I wasn't walking through myself, because I'll show you how. Basically, there'd be a mark on the floor, so I would be standing here, then I'd leave, then I'd be shooting the other guy, and I can see the mark on the floor, and I'd have to walk up and just put my arm up, and have to imagine myself right next to me. So it was very interesting to do that, and it took a long time. That shot was actually my idea. It wasn't scripted, and I asked Pete West, the director of that episode, I said, what about if I said, I have to touch myself, because that sounds terrible. Don't put that on the internet. I have to put my arm on top of my shoulder.
I have a question. What was it like to get punched in the face by Amanda Tapping?
Hey, anytime I'm touched by Amanda Tapping, I'm happy. Whether she punches me or not, I don't care. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. I thought it was great. And what actually happened in that scene, which they filmed, but they never used it, unfortunately, when I got hit and I was on the ground, Tilk behind me pulled out a tissue from his pocket to give to me to wipe my nose. So there was a really nice interaction with Tilk, but they never used it. And it was just, because it was getting to the stage where Tilk and Baal were kind of like, maybe they could become friends again, you know? But it was great. I mean, Amanda is so good to work with. She really threw a punch, man. I had to watch it because she stopped right there. You know, I had to. But yeah, it was great fun.
Thank you.
Sure.
What was your feeling to hurt Jack O'Neill / Richard with the knives?
It was lovely. I loved it. Yeah, it was very interesting. Well, first of all, it was great to hurt him because he's very cocky. But it was very interesting how we shot that as well, because we shot it, he was actually lying on the floor and I was on a tower above him, and that's how things like the acid would drop. There was one shot with the knife where they would have like a fishing line on the end of the knife, and I would hold the knife. That's how it would like come up like that. But no, it was great. I don't think he liked it too much though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My question is, what's your second favorite gold? Because your favorite is Baal.
My second favorite one, like someone maybe that I'd like to be.
Yes.
I don't. You know, I kind of like Apophis. Yeah. I kind of liked him. That's why I took his head off in Continuum. But yeah, I liked him. I always get a question also like, if I wasn't playing Baal on the show, who else would I like to play? And I always say General Jack O'Neill. Because of the character that he is. I think I could pull it off. And I just like the character. You know, he was the only other character. It's hard to say about the Goulds though, because I kind of found most of them, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Baal is the best, man.
As I said, your favorite is Baal.
But Apophis, I think, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Hi. Many people or actors tell it's just so much fun to play a bad guy. And I think you mentioned it earlier too. Why do you think is that the case? Why do people love playing a bad guy? Is it maybe because as a normal human being you're not allowed to show that side, but everyone has this little dark place inside of himself?
Yeah, definitely. I totally believe every person has, you can call it a dark place, I call it kind of privacy. It's like everyone has, whatever they're thinking in their head, they can think in their head. It doesn't matter, you know. The difference with Baal is he can think something in his head, something really bad and really dark, but he goes out and he does it. Of course, there's people in society that do that. They end up hopefully in jail because you can't do that. Baal can't go to jail. So playing a villain, yes, you have that freedom to do whatever you want to do, to be bad. And you have to be really bad. Technically, in the movie industry, you have a good guy, you have a protagonist, and you have an antagonist. The antagonist always has to be really bad. He even has to have a bigger story sometimes than the protagonist to make the good guy look really good. If the bad guy is kind of weak, the good guy is going to look very weak. So to make the good guy look good in the movies, the bad guy has to be really bad. James Bonds have always done that very well. Yeah, that's one other show. That would be my best villain to play, would be a villain on James Bond. Even better than playing James Bond himself. And thank you again for all the support and watching the show, because if it wasn't for you guys, you know, we wouldn't have work. And if it wasn't for the feedback that all of you guys write on the internet every day, and the producers from Stargate watch that, and that's why Baal stayed in the show for so long. So I'm very thankful to you, and thank you, and I hope we have a great weekend. We are right in the middle of a great weekend, and keep having a good one. All right, thank you very much. No, I knew there would be a lot of people. I didn't think the room would be full, but yeah, every seat was full. It was amazing. It was a great panel. I had a lot of fun. Once again, I didn't think there'd be that many people, you know, but yeah, I was quite impressed. It was nice. They're great. I mean, they asked all the great, you know, right questions in the panel and that. The fans are all very friendly. As usual, you know, I've been to Germany once before for conventions, and the German fans are fantastic. You know, they're our biggest fan base, and great. No, well, FedCon's, you know, it's the biggest one as far as the conventions are like this, besides the big Comic-Cons or like Atlanta Dragon Con, where they get 100,000 people every day. But as far as the conventions, this is definitely the biggest, yeah. And it's nice because it's so central in Europe, so everyone from all over Europe can get here.